What's up, YouTube? Andy from the Sports Card Flip Game, here with the latest on how to get you plugged into all things sports cards. In today's video, we are going to be talking about why you should take profits along the way when you're buying and selling sports cards, when you're collecting, when you're investing. It really doesn't matter, even if you're flipping, right? That's inherent in the flip game that you're going to take profits. But let's also think about this from another angle. I want to share with you some mindsets and some strategies to help you maximize your dollar and keep you fueled in the hobby along the way. If you haven't already yet, go ahead and hit that sub button and join the team. We just eclipsed 600 followers on the channel. Really fantastic. Thank you guys. Love you for doing that. And get in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about these strategies. Do you like them? Do you not? Do you actually think there's some other things that we need to be focusing on when taking profits along the way with sports cards? And also be sure to turn on the bell notification. I am posting content really once a week right now. I'm really working on trying to give you guys something different and something unique in the hobby from a content perspective. I don't want to just tell you, hey, invest in basketball cards or look to soccer cards. I want to really think really deep about this and give you all some differentiated strategies. One thing I am doing as we're talking about this is I'm consuming other content creators and looking at what they're telling you and really helping you evaluate, hey, is that a good idea? Is that not? And really trying to help integrate that into what I'm talking about. One of the articles or interviews that I recently, kind of watched was from Sports Card Investor. I'm sure a lot of you, just like I do, subscribe to his content. Jeff's a great guy and does a lot for the hobby. And he recently had on during the virtual sports card convention, Dr. James Beckett, right? Amazing founder and icon in the hobby. And they were talking about, right, the state of the hobby and kind of the market correction that could occur as we sort of see demand grow and grow. Are we getting into the new junk wax era, right? And Dr. Beckett was certainly cautious in saying that all markets do correct at some point, right? So we got to be careful for that. We've got to keep a lookout for what ultimately sort of course corrects in sports cards. And certainly there's a lot of new money coming into the hobby, but I want to give you all some mindsets that I've been thinking a lot about, especially in relation to what Dr. Beckett was saying, in that, hey, this isn't going to be a sure thing forever. And while card prices continue to go up, we've got to look for and at least be cautious against what's coming. Now, I don't want this to be doom and gloom. I don't want this to be, right, oh my gosh, the sky is falling, Andy is Chicken Little, you should get out of everything in sports cards and go back to gold, right? Even in the last couple of months in the pandemic, there were a lot of people that were very bearish on the sports card market and saying, hey, I'm not going to go buy or invest heavily. Obviously, we've come through that, and with sports being back on, a lot of people are back into the game. However, I want to give you all three mindsets that I've been thinking a lot about, really in terms of how to take profits and how to do it effectively and how to actually keep things going so that I can ascend to the next level in my sports card game, right? I've talked a lot about that, and I want to show you how I'm actually putting that into practice. All right, so I'm back. I had a little bit of camera difficulty there, but now I want to get back into it. I want to talk through that first strategy, or really a mindset on thinking about how to target and take profits along the way. And the first one is to achieve a target frame or a target figure that you want to return for a particular card. So in the last video, I talked about this Giannis stained glass that I got, and I said, hey, I'm making it fully aware. I'm going to flip this. I'm not going to hold on to it for a long time, but I look at it as a quick investment that will be a shorter term hold for me. I'd ultimately like to get Luka stained glass, so I know that that's going to be kind of the next step. So in order to kind of take returns on this one, I'm setting a target figure, and really it's basically a 2x, a double my money. So I bought this for 300. I'm looking at trying to get 500 to 600 for it. Ultimately, that would be where I'd be happy with. And again, that's a little bit of a shift in a mindset of saying I want to maximize my dollar. I want to maximize my return. I want to hang on to this card for as long as I can, and it's going to be a long-term hold. Ultimately, if I were to list this on eBay right now, we're going to look at sold listings, and you're going to see that they've gone kind of anywhere in that $360 to kind of $400-ish range. So already have some return kind of on this, and it could go right away. If I were to post this and put an eBay listing up and put it at 500 or 550 OBO, probably wouldn't get quite what I want. So it may turn into kind of a stale listing. If I did it as a buy it now and said, okay, I've got to have 600, it's going to price itself out of the market. It's going to then kind of become a stale listing. So I don't want to do that. It's too soon to actually look at a return on that card just yet. Ultimately, we know with Giannis, he needs to perform in the playoffs. He needs to actually hopefully get that ring and get the title. And then you're going to be able to actually say, okay, I can take profits on that card. So it's a mixture of being patient, but also knowing that, hey, once it hits my targeted return, I'm good with selling it. And actually kind of having that ceiling on those cards or setting that is a mental shift that's really important, because otherwise you're just sort of hoarding and holding on to cards and you're collecting. You're not really doing it with an investment intent, because at some point you do actually need to pull out profit. So that's one of the first mindset shifts that's really been on my mind. The second one is to protect your unrealized gains. So unrealized gains are very simple. It's essentially where you know you've made money on a particular card, but you haven't yet taken that profit. And we need to think a little bit more scarcely, a little more cautiously about knowing that all of these cards are just going to go up and keep going up and never have a cap on them. So one of the big cards in my collection that I bought a couple years ago is this Luka rookie card from Absolute. This is got a ball, it's got multiple patches and an auto. This is actually numbered to 99. So this is a level 1 rookie, but it's a 90 out of 99. So this is going anywhere for $400 to $500, $450 to $500, kind of probably the most recent eBay sales that I've seen. And when I'm looking at this card, I picked this up during his rookie year for $200. And so I've got some unrealized gains in this card that at a certain point need to materialize to me. And you know what? I need to say, hey, I'm either going to put this into another card, or I'm just going to pull out my profit and be okay with that, knowing that it's going to into my collection, knowing that I've seen value out of that card. And so actually thinking about it from just a sheer money standpoint and saying, you know what? I'm okay with this being money that I'm going to see, but I need to make sure I actually see that return, that I actually materialize that. And ultimately a strategy for this card may be to put it up at auction. And again, you might say, hey, I know I'm going to actually get back my $200 for this, no problem. But what if this card went for $500, or what if it went for $600, right? So the difference here is that we know Luka cards are crazy. This may actually shoot the moon a little bit more. And so that's another mindset to look at, that you could say, you know what, I'm okay taking off my money off the table, putting it into something else, reinvesting it, and I'm okay with that, but I've got my return on that card out of it, and it's coming back to me. So that's something that I have to be happy with. And so that's another way to kind of look at taking profits along the way, to really shift your mindset just a little bit. The third and final strategy, or really mindset, that I want to talk about is actually capitalizing on the market today. And a great example of that is Aaron Judge, right? He's going off right now. He's playing probably better than anybody in baseball. And this is a rookie auto from 5-star from 2017 from Aaron Judge. This is one that if I were looking at this card, you know what? I'm probably going to sell this card, because It doesn't have a lot of value to me anymore in my collection. It's sort of served its purpose. I need to see some return on that card. And maybe it's not going to be a 2x, a 5x, a 10x. Maybe it's just I got out of that card and I'm going to reinvest it into something else. But I know now is the right time. Now is that peak, so to speak, in Aaron Judge cards comparatively to last year when he was hurt, right? Then I wouldn't have been able to get out. And I think I paid maybe $89, somewhere in that range for this card. And it goes in the $100, $110, $120 range. So actually divesting right out of the baseball market is something I've been kind of doing and reinvesting into some other players. This is one that, okay, great. I'm going to take my money off the table with Aaron Judge, put it into something else, and capitalizing on the timing where he's playing well right now is going to do myself a lot of good. Now, ultimately, I've been talking a little bit about some, mid-range cards, a little higher-end cards. I want to also share with you some strategies or 3 particular strategies for lower-end cards, right? Some of the things that you all may need to do if you're building your collection, and some things that I'm also doing along the way to help bring my game up. The first strategy on that side, and these are really tactical, is to sell cards that you get in breaks. Right, so a lot of times you'll get into a team, whether it's pick your team or a random team break. So this is one that I did for Select Basketball. I actually got a lot of different cards from the Pacers. I got this Goga rookie tie-dyed, numbered to 25. This is the courtside version, so you may be able to see it. There's numbered. This is probably a $25 card, maybe. I've only seen one of these listed, and it's sold, I think, right in that range. And then I've got some other lower-end Select Basketball. I've got a Goga Silver. I've got a Victor Oladipo. This is a tricolor. And then I've also got a George Hill patch card. This is numbered as well to 49. So I think this is the copper version. Again, these probably don't have a lot of value, maybe $5 a piece, to the right buyer. And that's the catch with it, right? To the right buyer on these cards. You got to find somebody who's a Goga super collector, who's prospecting Goga, and say, you know what, I'm going to sell these to you. So a strategy here may be to take, right, and bundle 3 or 4 different cards like this that all are nice or okay by itself, but really kind of lower end, nothing crazy. But somebody may be looking for a card like this or looking to get in on Goga, and maybe you package these together and you sell these as a lot, and you sell them for $50 or $60, and you put that as an or best offer, and maybe you take 40 or 45 out of it. And you say, you know what, I'm going to package and bundle some of these cards up together and get some money out of what probably otherwise was just going to collect dust in my collection. And I'm certainly not a Goga fan, Pacers super collector, anything like that. So that's another way to kind of scoop some value and get some profits out of some cards that otherwise aren't really meaningful to you. The second strategy is actually to do the flip-flop of that. So to take cards that I've been super, super, super into, right? So Luka second-year cards. So I've got a bunch of Revolution Basketball that, again, $5, $10 cards, nothing crazy here. I've got a My House card, right? A couple of those. I've got a Blue Velocity, right? So ones that I've picked up either in lots or just going and getting Luka's second-year cards. But again, ones that I've got doubles of, ones that ultimately either I picked up too many of, or as what I've been doing with these Revolution cards, have been collecting the rainbow, right? So been picking up all the different variations. So I've got the Groove and the Astro and the Chinese New Year, and then the Fractal and the Impact, and ultimately up to the Cubic. So I've been going and collecting those. But a lot of times I might be able to get one of those cards that I'm looking for, but have to pair it with some of these other lower end ones. And now, hey, I can do that same thing. I'm going to take these lot of 3 or 4, Luka Revolution cards and sell those, and maybe get 15, 20 bucks out of it. And if you look at that, that really does help, again, take some profits along the way on some of those lower end cards. So really kind of bundling and packaging is a good way to do it. And then the third and final strategy on some of the lower end cards and finding some profit there is to, again, time the market on college cards, right? So looking at those guys that have their college jerseys, really taking profit on those, right? So everybody knows about Prism draft picks from last year. These are cool cards. I've got Zion and Ja and Rui. I've got the big rookies. But there's not a ton of value here anymore because they're in their college jerseys. Why are you going to look on this when you've got, the pro jerseys? What's going on right now is football. So here's a CD Lamb. This is a certified. And this is a Chase Young. This is from Prestige. Two good rookies here. Certainly good picks, guys that I like. But not going to see a lot of value once they're in their Washington football team and Cowboys jerseys. So definitely need to get some value out of those. So looking to capitalize on the market as well. That same strategy applies to lower end cards. So that's going to do it for today's video. If you did like it, leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think about these strategies. Are they good or are they bad? Really would love to get into it with you. So until next time, keep your flip game strong.